Hi, Mr. Moustache here. Oh no, I still got ink on my hands. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at why it's important to wash your hands correctly and in the best way. The actual concept of explaining why you have to wash your hands and that there's germs and viruses and etc. on your hands is a very difficult one. I've found that getting the kids to watch a video on YouTube, so if you type washing hands for kids, you'll get a few animated videos up where it actually explains it and shows it how the germs are invisible, how they multiply, and why it is so important to wash your hands properly. You'll get a range of videos, animated ones, songs, and a lot more where you can just flick through it and get your kids to watch those first. It really does help with their understanding of germs and why washing hands are important. Now for today's lesson, we're going to look at how to wash your hands correctly and why it's so important to wash your hands correctly. I actually saw a video like this online somewhere and thought it was an amazing idea, so I've decided to create my own version of it, Mr. Moustache style. For today's lesson, you're going to need some gloves, some paint and some marker pens. We're going to start off by wearing our gloves. Next, we're going to need our marker pens, and with these pens we're actually going to draw some germs on our gloves. So draw some germs. You can change colours. It's very important that you don't draw all your germs in one area, on your palms, on your thumb, on your fingers, on the back of your hand, because when it comes to actually washing our hands in a minute, we're actually going to cover those up. And of course, make sure you do it on both hands. So once you've drawn your germs on your hands, it's time for the next step. If you're wearing long sleeves, I'd recommend that you roll them up or pull them up, like so. So this is when we need our paint. We're actually going to pretend that this is our soap. Open your paint and pour some into the palm of your glove, like so. So now we're going to follow the steps of washing your hands correctly. The first motion we need to do is actually move our hands around in a circle. Now if I open my hands up, you can see that although there is yellow paint everywhere, or soap everywhere, it hasn't covered the rest of our hands or in between our fingers. So the next motion is to actually do like a W and rub it up and down. Up and down. You might need more paint. W like that. Between. So now it's getting between our fingers, as you can see. By doing the W like that and going through our fingers, in between our fingers are now covered in soap, in paint, in soap. Paint, soap. Soap. Well, it's actually paint, but you know what I mean. That was step 2. Now step 3, I'm going to need more paint again. As you can see, the back of our hand is still not covered. Now we're going to again do like a dot, go through our fingers again like that, covering the back of our hands. Up, down motion. Now that's covered, the other hand. Now once the back of our hands are covered, it's time to do the next step, step 4, which is to, if you put your hand like that and then your other hand on top, as if you're pulling like that, and go up and down. That really gets to the end of your fingers and covers those all up. Now for the next step, which is, as you can see, our thumbs. A lot of people forget to wash their thumbs, but as you can see, I've done a few steps now, and yet my thumbs are not covered, and the inside of my thumbs are not covered. So our next step is to cover our thumbs. So if you put your thumb out and with your other hand grab it, do a turning motion like that and go around, really in there, circular motion, covering it. See, now it's turning yellow, and then move on to the other hand. The other hand, you can see it's all blue, and then if I go around in a circle like that and really get in there, the other side as well, you can do it this way or that way. Again, that way or that way. Our last steps are to make sure that we have got soap inside our nails. To make sure we get soap in those nails, if you open your hands, close it like a claw, and put them together with your other hand, use it to go around in a circle like that. Open, close it like a claw, all together, and circular motion. As you can see, my hand is covered now. Now we've just got our wrist to do, and we're finished. Again, circular motion around your wrist. There we go. Really make sure it's covered up. And the other wrist. As you can see, my whole hand is covered in paint, representing soap of course. And if you look, we've covered up all our germs that we drew earlier. So, there we go. How to wash your hands properly with Mr. Moustache. Maybe I should have gone for a different colour paint. Remember, teachers still teach challenge. Tag a friend, subscribe, share. Oh no, one side of my moustache dropping. Our blue glove is blue no more. Best way to take off gloves are if you put your thumb, pull it up, and then, still holding on to the other glove, grab it, and there we go. No, don't follow that. That's not. No, actually, don't listen to me.